What's up guys, you're here with Voxpopnation again, and we're here in London's Marble Arch where London Euromaidan have organised the March Against Tyranny. As some of you may know, today is the Crimean Referendum to see whether or not Crimea will join Russia. Today is a crucial day for Ukraine and a crucial day for the people of Crimea. Let's see what people have to say about it. As you can see, the protesters left Marble Arch now and we're heading to our destination, the Russian Embassy.
Hands off Ukraine! Hands off Ukraine!
As you can see guys, we're outside the Russian Embassy now. The protesters have gathered outside the front. We're going to go and get some views. So what do you think the outcome of the referendum will be today?
Whatever the outcome of the referendum will be, the referendum is illegal. There is no independent referendum when it is run by the Soviet army in occupation.
Well, you know, it's not a real referendum. It's an inevitable outcome. Forget about that referendum. It was illegal with 10 days notice, with people with weapons, troops with machine guns, tanks surrounding the streets. What sort of democracy is that? Forget the referendum. What we need now is Russian troops to leave Ukraine so Crimeans can decide their future themselves without armed conflict, without people standing pointing guns at their faces.
It's definitely illegal. But of course, result is well known to everybody.
It's a joke, but it's such arrogant joke.
The ballot boxes are already marked and proven, so I think I worry now what's the next stage.
Actually, I'm from Syria, Voxpopnation. I've been 9 months daily here, a protest outside Russian embassy. I bought Ukrainian flag, Georgia flag, and Polish flag against the dictatorship in Russia. And today I joined the Ukrainian people because we have same enemy. All of us after freedom and justice. That's why I'm with them.
As we've heard from a few people today, it seems pretty unanimous here that people just think that this referendum is illegitimate, false, illegal, and that it should never have gone ahead in the first place. So as you know, like the US and the West, like Europe, have been putting sanctions on Russia, which has been hurting them. But Putin still refuses to give up. Do you think this is more about Russia's reputation as a global power, global superpower?
I think it has something to do with the ambitions of one particular person and his government more than anything of Russian aspirations.
So what do you think about the protests that have happened in Russia against Putin's invasion?
Against Putin, well, everyone had enough of Putin, not only Ukraine, Russia and the rest of the world. We had enough of him. It's a second Hitler. We can't allow him to do those things to the world, to the people, because it's insane. It's absolute disaster. Putin is a Hitler, second Hitler. It's awful.
He just won't give up because he's sick, and I hope he ends up in an extremely difficult position, which he will after tomorrow.
Do you think that this is more about Russia's power rather than...
It is, yes. He set in his mind that Ukrainian is not Ukraine. He wants to put in the people's, Russian people's head that Ukraine is Russian territory, which is not, it's never been.
He thinks he is too clever, but he is not. And he underestimates Ukrainians, he underestimates Baltic states, he underestimates other people. He was in power for 14 years. And you know what happens to people who they're out of touch.
We just don't know how to support anymore. We're trying to show all the world it is really, really dangerous for us, and I think it's also really dangerous for all the Europe.
We don't need to happen in Ukraine what's happening in Syria, because Syria, the media is not covering what's going on in Syria. In Syria, we have 300,000 people so far be killed, more than 1.5 million be injured, more than 12 million be reflect inside and outside. We don't need that to happen to Ukrainian people.
Do you think that the pressures being put on by the West on Russia will help in this situation, or?
I hope so. I honestly don't see it happening in any near future. We've seen before that Russia is not backing up just because of the Western sanctions unless they become harsher, unless there is more support. I'm afraid this is something that's going to continue to the east as well.
If you look at things realistically, I doubt that we can stop the conflict. I doubt that we can persuade or frighten Putin. I think he's got his mind set at what he wants to do, and he'll do it. But there's always hope, and that's why we're here.
Do you think, because I've seen a lot around the media and on social networking sites about the irony of the US challenging Russia about occupation, do you think there's any legitimacy in that? that they are being quite hypocritical?
There's no hypocrisy at all, and it's entirely legitimate. I mean, people raising Iraq or Afghanistan to do with this is pure sort of whataboutery. People say that when they don't want to face the obvious truth of what's happening in Ukraine, whether people supported the war in Iraq or Afghanistan or not. What Putin is doing in Ukraine is plainly aggression, plainly a breach of the United Nations Charter, and everyone who's seriously in good faith about peace and the international order should be speaking out against it.
So would you say the voice of the people is what will save Ukraine?
The voice of the people, not just in Ukraine, the voice of the people in Britain and all over the world, the voice of people who don't think the dictatorship is okay and is acceptable, and the people who are not afraid to speak up about what they believe in. Yes, I think so.